unbelievable. You know, it's hard to explain, but you know, it's just, I don't know, you just get a rush up your spine every time you'd hear a good tune, you know?
I just sort of feel myself like moving a bit faster, you know what I mean? What's going on here? I start like feeling sort of little flutters, get little rushes.
If someone offers you a good time in a little white tablet, and you know you're sitting at home all week, and you take this thing and you're going to feel better than you ever felt before, you know, obviously you're on thin ice.
Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell.
Rock and roll is dead. That's the view of a lot of young people. From Russia to the United States, it's been replaced by what they call a cultural revolution. Dance, house or rave music, an insistent beat with roots in ancient tribal rhythms. The music itself is addictive, and with the music go the clothes. And for some, though by no means for all young ravers, go the drugs. Dance drugs, in particular what's termed the ultimate fashion accessory, ecstasy or E.
A lot of people like take it is to get them into the scene, is to give them that first step, like to get in and to buzz with other people and socialise. It's not an easy thing to do for a lot of people.
Some people go in and they don't feel up to getting up and dancing, you know what I mean? They haven't sort of got the drive, you know, to get out and dance. So more than likely they'll take E, they'll take something that's there to make them get up and dance, you know? And then when they do take the E, the music and that just sort of brings you up, and all of a sudden you're out there and you're flying around the place, you know? You're having a great time.
Well, look, you go out to a dance hall and you probably take the ecstasy tablet, say, about an hour before you go into town. And you'd be walking around town, like you'd be probably flying, but you won't realise it until you hear music. You know what I mean? Then when you go into the dance hall, and you just throw your bag in the corner, or you have a sec in the corner, up you go, dancing straight away, and then you're just dancing probably from 11 o'clock in the night until, say, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then when that's over, you go somewhere else.
And then you just start feeling, and then you're getting heavier and heavier, you know? They're the rushes you get off, like sort of boosts, you know, of inspiration and that, whatever it's called, I don't know, adrenaline. You know, it just pushes your adrenaline level up real high, you know? All of a sudden, the music starts getting going, and you just start feeling, what am I doing? What am I sitting here for, you know? And then you just get up and you start flying around, and like, you don't really care what way you dance, you know? Just want you moving. You see them all giving it all this and all, you know?
So I feel with the widespread abuse of ecstasy here at the moment, it's only a matter of time until we have a fatality here in Cork.
I think the ecstasy tablet is everywhere in Dublin. I've often seen people dancing in parks with radios and to be all on ecstasy. Schools, I've even seen it happening in school yards. It's all over the place. You wouldn't even know anybody and you'd be sitting talking to them for hours. Out of your head on ecstasy.
Oh yeah, it doesn't distinguish between class, you know, it's everywhere. I mean, they were even calling it the yuppie drug at one stage, and there's widespread use of it in all levels of society, really.
It's selling for £25 a tablet on the streets. Now, what pushers often do is that they will give a youngster 10 tablets to sell. If they sell these tablets, then they can get two tablets for themselves, so that the pushers themselves aren't out selling the drugs, but they're using the youngsters to sell the drugs. So it's quite hard to get the shadowy figures behind these youngsters. But it seems to be widely available in streets in Dublin, in colleges, and perhaps even down the more affluent Leeson Street type areas.
It's the fashion now, you know what I mean? That's the fashion. Heroin is going out the window now. A's is coming in, there's dance, can have the crack dancing.
In the last year, there's been a sharp increase in the number of ecstasy users needing treatment for psychological problems. The symptoms can be severe and disturbing.
The whole body is pumping even the next day, just pumping blood. Plays with your head as well. The paranoia on it is amazing. You get very paranoid on it. The next day, you can't see anything for what it really is. You know that way? And it will affect a lot of kids in the long run, because there's a lot of kids out there now and they don't know what they're getting themselves into.
I've seen people mess up, yeah. You know, I've seen people lose jobs. I've seen people fall out of college. I've seen people, you know, who ordinarily would never have, you know, got in trouble with police and they're in trouble, and people's attitudes change.
The physical effects of ecstasy or E are obvious and noticeable. An impulse to move and to dance, often to excess. The body temperature increases, as does the heart rate. Dancers can be reckless in not taking fluids or resting in order to cool down.
You know, you can't sit down at all. You're flying around, you're just, like, and like, if you haven't got a change of clothing with you, you know, it's just crazy, because it'll be just destroyed, you know, soaking wet, because you're running around like a lunatic, you know. Like, you're talking about a guy going in that probably never even played football or anything in his life, you know what I mean, or never done any training or anything like that. He takes a knee, you know. He's out there and you think he was Carl Lewis or something, you know what I mean? Flying around dancing and that, you know. And he's thinking to himself, yeah, this is great, you know. Looking at me, you know, maybe they're dancing on. I don't care what people are saying, you know.
It happened to me once or twice. I dehydrated. I didn't even know I was dehydrating. Like, there's all foam coming up in my mouth. And just bang, hit the floor. You can't move anymore. You can't breathe. You can't open your lungs. You can't open your tonsils. I kept feeling as if my throat was closing in on me.
It's like a big sedative, you know. I mean, if there was no drugs and there was no drink, everyone would be running around like a lunatic, looking for work and complaining that there was no work. And, you know, really making a case for, you know, their rights, that they should be able to work and there should be work for them. But now, you know, there's ease around and there's drink, and it sedates people. It pushes people down.
Drugs may push people down, but for the pushers of drugs, there's no shortage of work or profits. It's a lucrative, if dangerous, trade.
The drug barons here never seldom handle, whether it be the ecstasy, whether it be LSD or hash, cannabis. They always have couriers working for them. They have a number of agents who distribute the drug. We can get a number of drug dealers in the year. They take the number of drug dealers, but we'll seldom find a chain of evidence that will lead back to the top guy, because he's covered his tracks all the way. And it's difficult, very difficult to detect.
The peddling of a drug like ecstasy can be hugely profitable. In the north, paramilitaries have been involved in the ecstasy traffic. Last week, a young man from Cork died after packages of dance drugs he was smuggling burst inside him. It's become a violent trade. In spite of the risks, ecstasy finds a ready market. In defense of the drug, people say its effect is peaceful and friendly. More acceptable, they say, than the behaviour changes caused by alcohol. In this Dublin dance club, alcohol is banned, and as in all the clubs we filmed in, drugs are not allowed on the premises. But the owner of this club knows that a certain proportion of their 600 patrons will have taken ecstasy before they come in.
If half of them are on E, I don't know how many people would be on E. But having said that, I would see a lot of people buzzing, and we've never had a row. It would seem to me that the feelings of joy that they have and the feelings of love that they have are intensified. They become more passionate. The inhibitions seem to be gone, and they hug one another. We refuse point blank to have alcohol. If we have 600 people here and there's a lot of alcohol taken, believe me, there will be a massacre.
As drink is known to bring aggression out in people. Like the ecstasy, from what I see, and I see the way people act out on it, and the way they socialise, it's totally the other end of it. It's turbocharged niceness or something, I don't know, it's just boosted in that way, you know.
I've heard parents saying to kids, wouldn't you just go to the pub and have a few drinks? I mean, what is the difference between saying that and saying, look, why don't you go out and do an E? It's the same thing, like they're trying to, it's as if they're trying to say, look, stay away from the drugs and go for a few pints, you know. And, you know, what's the difference really? There's no difference.
Can we take it to the max?
Not all Irish club owners agree. Some believe that clubs should display information on safer drug use. But to do so, they claim, could close them down.
I do feel there should be very much more open in the voice on how to use drugs if you're going to use them. Unfortunately, like, you have a needle exchange program here now that should have been here 10 years ago. I believe if we had advice slips for younger people who are using ecstasy, whatever advice is needed to be given to them. Because the fact is that they're going to use it, and not you or I can't stop it. Even the police can't stop it.
We don't need that anymore.
Dance drugs are in widespread use, and adults can make informed decisions on whether or not to take them. But the age group experimenting with these drugs is in some places alarmingly low. In one Dublin club, which for legal reasons we cannot name, ecstasy is available even to 12-year-olds.
There is numerous clubs catering for this music, but there is one club that is really abusing the whole thing of it, you know what I mean? And everything else along with it. Like, they will literally let anybody in. It is money and the story. So money has no barriers to these people. You want to push a kid in a prom, you go ahead. To me, £7 on the door. I don't care what happens to you when you walk outside this place, and I don't care what happens to you inside. So that's where, like, if kids can get into places, they will go in, believe me. Because everybody's adventurous. We all want to check things out in life, new things in life. So if they're let into the clubs, they will get in and they will take in. And that's where it has to be stopped. There has to be a policy where there's nothing under 18 or even 20 allowed inside the doors or anything.
The Gardaí have this particular Dublin club under surveillance, but the terms of the legislation are such that it's very difficult to successfully prosecute club owners, even those who flagrantly abuse their trust. In the meantime, young people, very young people, can obtain these drugs.
The age difference is really at the going down low, you know? Like, it's gone down right now to, what, 13 and that, you know? 13-year-olds selling these and taking these and all, you know what I mean? And it's crazy, you know? Like, they don't really know what they're letting themselves into, sort of.
You could start from about 9 upwards, you know? You know, it's unbelievable because the drug dealers, they don't really care once they get their money, you know?
It would be wrong to suggest that even the majority of young people involved in dance culture take ecstasy. All drugs are prohibited in this club, and for most of the dancers, it's the music that's the drug.
I'm not into the drugs, you know? I just love the music, you know?
Drugs aren't that important at all. It all depends on what kind of scene you're in. Some people do drugs, some people don't, you know? Like myself, I don't do drugs.
Like, people might do ecstasy, so therefore it's a drug culture. I mean, it's there, it's bound to be a little bit part of it. But, like, there's a certain amount of people might do ecstasy and there's another amount of people just go in and want to dance. They like the music.
Only a proportion of young people take ecstasy before they go to clubs. But it's available and facts should be faced. Can these drugs be stopped? If not, should we provide advice on how to avoid some of the dangers? Even those exposed to the ecstasy experience cannot agree.
Once you take one, you're always chasing that buzz again. You're always looking for the same hype you got off the first one, and you never get it.
So I don't understand why they're so staunch. Why don't they educate themselves about it and then condemn it? Don't condemn something you know nothing about.
You know, if someone is going to do them, they're going to do them. And I think the more you try and stop them, the more they're going to, you know, do it. That's human nature anyway, you know.